Jai Hind to all. My name is Dhanshri Parihar, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College. And today my topic is collection in Java from subject Programming with Java with OOPS. So my content include collection interface, linked list in collection, array, vectors, stack, queue interface, priority queue and DQ. Now, what is collection in Java? Collection in Java is a framework that provides an architecture to store and manipulate the group of objects. In Java, for implementing the data structure, we use the interface collection. So, collection is a framework that includes the ready-made architecture and represents a set of classes and interfaces. The collection framework represents a unified architecture for storing and manipulating the group of objects. So this is the hierarchy for collection framework. In collection framework, we are having first of all an iterable interface. That is the root interface of collection framework, and the collection framework that is also an interface is derived from the iterable interface. Here the blue block indicates the interfaces and the green block indicates the classes. This collection framework further consists of list, queue and set data structure as an interface in it. And further the list interface includes array list, linked list, vector and stack as its classes, whereas the queue data structure as an interface includes two classes. One is the priority queue and another is the array queue, where the DQ and Q are the two interfaces inside it. Now the set interface, the third interface includes two classes, hash set and link hash set. Along with that, another interface is as a sub interface of set is sorted set, and the tree set is a class of that sorted set. Now what is an iterable interface? That is the root interface of a collection interface. The iterable interface is the root interface and the collection interface extends the iterable interface. So this interface includes only one abstract method in it, which is known as a iterator method, and here is the syntax for that iterator method: iterator, t type and the closing braces of iterate. Here it returns the iterator over the element of type t. Now next is the hierarchy of collection framework. As shown earlier, the collection is derived from the iterable interface, and the collection itself will include three further interfaces: linked list, set and queue, and it all are included in java.utll.package. Now next are the methods which be included in our collection interface in different classes. Now first one is the add object method. This method is used to add an object to the collection. That collection may be a list, maybe a stack, maybe a linked list, maybe a vector, maybe a queue. So this add method is a common to all the data structure and used to add an item to the list or any other data structure. Then the second one is add all collection C. This method is used to add all the elements to a given collection. That collection may be again the stack, the list. So the first one will add only the single item and the second one will add the multiple items to the collection. The next is the clear. This method removes all the elements from the collection, that is from a list or from an array or a stack. Next is the contain. It is used to check whether the particular element is present in that list, stack or array, and if that element is present, it will return a true value. So it is a kind of a, we can say it's a boolean kind of a method which will return our boolean value in the form of true and false. Now next is contains all. This method return true if the collection contains all the elements given in a collection. So if we are looking for a multiple item in a list or a stack or a queue, then the contain all method is used to check whether that element is present in that particular collection or data structure or not. If it is true, it will return a true value in a boolean format, and if it's false, means the data element is not present in that collection framework. Next is equals to. This method will compare the specified object and its equality means is it present with the same condition or not in that data structure. Then we have is empty, iterator and maximum. Is empty, this method return the true if the collection contains no element in it. It is also a kind of a boolean function. Then next is the iterator method. This method returns an iteration over the elements. Now this can be used for like we are using our for loop, while loop and all. So it is kind of a used for performing the iteration in a method, within a method, or repetition in a method or a particular set of a code. Now then we will having a max method. This method is used to return the maximum value present in a collection. Suppose we are entering 4 to 5 elements or item in an integer format, so maximum value that will be having the highest number will be returned by using this function. Now next are some other methods included in collection framework. First one is the remove object O method, which is used to delete a single item from a collection. And then we have a remove all, to remove all the items from the collection. Collection means list, stack, array. And then we have remove if. So remove if is different from remove and remove all in a sense that it will include a condition, like this method is used to remove all the elements of this collection that satisfy the particular given condition. Suppose I want to remove an element from a list if the value of that particular item is greater than some other item. So kind of that condition can be included by this remove if, and if that condition is true, that element will be truncated from your given data structure. Now next is retain all. This method is used to retain only those elements in the collection that are contain the specified collection. So there will be again a particular condition to bound that element into your collections. Next is the size, that will return the size of a particular list or array, how much element that it will be containing. Now next is stream and split iterator. This method is used to create a splittator over, means splitting the two lists over the elements in the collection. And the streaming is used to return a sequential stream, means a list or something in some order, ascending or descending order from its source. Now next, last one is to array method. This method is used to return an array containing all the elements in its collection, means it will be converting your given data structure into a array data structure. So before proceeding further, we will understand what is the list interface. The very first we can say data structure in our this collection framework or collection interface, we can say this one, the list. It will include the 4 classes: array list, linked list, vector and stack. And how we can write these 4 classes, we have a syntax for that. For example, for creating an array list, by using the array list class, first we have to write a data structure named as list. It is a keyword, then the data type supported for that thing, and the variable name, it may be anything, is a user defined name, that is the name of your list. And array list shows that we will be creating a list of form of array. Now next is the linked list. The list which will be created by us is a kind of a linked list. So data will be stored in a form of a linked list in it. And how again it will be quoted with the list, we can say predefined keyword, then the data type of that list, that may be integer, may be a variable, okay, and then the list 2 is the name of that particular list, new keyword and the class name. Next is using the vector. Now it is very interesting that a new data structure will be included in Java named as a vector, and how it is different from this list. It will provide a synchronized procedure and it will be mostly used in a thread processes. So how we can create again this list, again the data type, then the name of that list, the new keyword and the class name, vector for creating a vector kind of a list. Then again for creating a stack, stack is last in first out format. So if you want to create a list of LIFO format, we will use a stack class. along with the list data structure, and this is a user defined variable name list4. So these are the 4 classes which will be supported by our list interface, inner collection interface, and we can use any one of them for creating a list in Java. So let's have a look at the first one, that is the array list. So what is an array list and how we can create an array list, how we can add an elements to the array list, and how we can remove the elements from that list that will be of type of array. So the array list class implements the list interface, and it uses a dynamic array to store that particular list with the different data types, and the array list class maintains the insertion order, and it is a non-synchronized data structures, means there is no we can say synchronization between the task we are or the work we are doing with this particular data structure. The elements stored in the array list class can be randomly accessed. It will provide a random access, and how we can create this, let's see an example for this, a programming example. Now in this programming example, first of all we are importing the input output package and util package. Why utility package? As I told you earlier that this iterable interface is a part of this util package, and then we are having the collection and other 4 interfaces. So all are the part of this util package, and all the classes queue class, array, vector, linked list, these all are the part of this util package, and all the methods supporting this data structures. Now let us consider a class GFG, and here we are creating that class, public static void main. We are starting this class. Now we are declaring here the array list. How we can create it? Either you can use over here a list data structure or array list, there is no problem with that. So we are using the array list class, then the integer data type. So we are creating a array list of data type integer, and along with that we will now create that array list. So AI is the name of, this is the name of array list we are creating of type integer. So storing our integer values, okay. And now after this line, what will we do? We have to add the element to this array list. For doing so, we will use our add method. And how we can add? Here we are using a loop in order to add 5 elements to this particular array list named as AI from values from location 1 to 5. So we are iterating it for 5 times, and we are adding 5 values in it, 5 item in it by using this add, and we are putting over here the I for 1 2 3 4 5, we are here inserting it. So for doing that we will using a add method. After executing add, what will be happening? It will be taking like this, AI dot add 1 for the first location, then AI dot add this for 2, and so on to 5 elements. AI dot add, okay, not the this braces but the these braces, and after executing it for 5 times, what will happen? We will get an output like this, 5 elements. So at location 1, 1 will be inserted, 2 will be inserted, as the value of 5 will be from 1 to 5 times it will be running along with the values 1 2 3 4 5. So this list will be created in a form of a array list by using that add function over here. Now after that, adding the elements to the list, here this system.out.println is used to print that list that I shown you earlier. Now to remove the element, we will use the remove method. Here it has been written that AI.remove 3 means remove the element from index number 3. So what we will be having in index, if we look at the output, this is our 0 location, index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3 and index 4 of an array. So at index 3 we are having an item or element named as 4. So when we want to remove this index number 3, we are actually removing the item number 4 from the list, and that item number 4 will be deleted. After using this method, then we will be displaying the list system.out.println. So what we will be getting in the output, we will getting the elements 1, 2, 3 and 5. 4 will be now deleted by using that remove. So what we will get in the output, 1, 2, 3 and at location 4 we have already removed the element by using this particular method remove on our AI named array list. Now last is again the printing the size, you can say, or getting the element at each location like this. So here we are printing the individual element of the list. Now we are not printing the list but the individual element of the list using the iterable statement. So this is how we can add the element to an array list or remove the element from the array list. Now next is linked list. Now what is linked list and how it can be implemented in Java? It can be implemented in a form of a doubly linked list, which will be internally stored in our elements. It can store the duplicate element also. Duplicate means that more than one item with the same name can be holded in this doubly linked list, and it is also not a synchronized data structure. So what is synchronization we will see earlier, and how it is beneficiary in Java programming language. So let's take a look at this program. Now in this program we will be creating a linked list and adding the element linked list and removing the element from the linked list. As I told you earlier, we have to import the util package that will be containing all the methods and all the classes in it of the collection interface, and then again the same GFG. In this class we are creating a linked list now that will be named as my list. So this will be your linked list, that is a user defined linked list. Okay, and with the type string. So data structure supporting data type it will be supporting is the string data type, new keyword to create it, and again the linked list class. Now how we can add an element? So one way of doing addition is also we will using the add method multiple times to add a single item. In the previous example we are using a for loop for doing so, but here we are not using the looping statement, we are using the add symbol directly, add method to add individual item. So the name of your list, that my list, then the dot the add method and the of that item to be added to the my list. It will be like this. My list is your user defined list and we are adding element. First we have added A, then we are adding A comma B, two elements will be added in the second step, then in third D and again D. It will be A, B and then D, again then D. When 4 times we will add this code to the source code. 4 times, so we are adding 4 elements. Still this list is stored in my list data structure. It's not printed but it's right now stored in my list data, that will be of type link. Now by using for printing all the elements of the list, I means starting from 0 value to the total size. My list dot size means the end element, the total size of the list. If we have a look over here, we have a size of 4. So it will be like 0, 1, 2 and 3. At 3 size it will be, and when it will become 3, the value will be 3, my list will be stopped. How printing this list? Like this, A, B, D and D in a for loop format. So this is the way how we can create a linked list. Here we are not using the remove method to delete the element, it will be only showing the addition of elements to a linked list. We will duplicate 2 D and D, so it will be supported a duplication of data also. Now linked list, how to reverse a linked list with the elements. Suppose I want to add 3, reversing your linked list. I am having 3 items in the list, added Ravi, Vijay and Ajay, and we have created a class. Here the class name is missing right now. Okay, here is the class name, that is linked list 4, and util package is there. Public static void main, we have started the class, created a linked list named as 2 over here. Okay, this is the name of the linked list 2. So 2 linked list 2 or LL, this is LL linked list. We are adding the name Ravi, Vijay and Ajay. Normally we have added. Now we want to reverse it. How we can reverse it now? For reversing it, we can use method in a class which is known as descending iterator method, that will automatically descend your linked list. There is no need of manually descending your list or reversing your list. This will automatically reverse your list in a descending order, that is from starting from last to the first, and then storing that element in this I name of variable, that is a kind of a iterator variable. So I dot has next means printing those values in that iterator. So this will be the output Ajay, Vijay and Ravi. Previously what we want to store, we want the list will be like this: LL is equals to Ravi, Vijay and Ajay in a single line. Okay, we have added like this. Now after using this descending iterator on this, what will be happen? Ajay will become the first element of the list, and this will be new, we can get new LL value, Ajay, then Vijay and then Ravi. Since I am not printing this list over here, this list is not printed over here, so only the reversed value is printed in the output like this: Ajay, Vijay and Ravi. Previously the list was Ravi, Vijay and Ajay. So this is the way we can reverse a linked list in Java using a descending iterator method. Now next data structure is vector. Now what is vector? It is a kind of a synchronized, we can say, a list implementation data structure. How we can say it is a synchronized? Synchronization means it can support the thread safe or multi-threading programming with additional synchronization. Means in a sequence the thread that processes will be executing, that program will be executing. And where it will be used? It will be used generally when a thread safe implementation is used by the arrays. So there are certain methods which a vector will be containing its own methods, like add method we have already discussed previously and used it also. The same way this add method is going to work in a vector method. Then have a add all, adding the multiple elements to the data structure. Add element, it is used to append some specified append means adding a single or some adding element to particular location. Okay, where the add element is adding to the front of your list or at particular predefined location, but here we can append the element at some specified location. Capacity, it is used to judge the how much data a vector can contain, that is the capacity method. Then we have a clear is used to delete all the elements from the vector. Then we have a clone, this one, it returns the duplicate copy of a vector. That then next is the contain, it returns true if the vector contain the specifier, same as that of the collection. There are some methods which are common to all the data structures, as these all data structure are the part of our collection framework. So this is a common method. Then we have its another copy into method. It is used to copy the components of a vector into a specified array. So vector to array conversion. Conversion means from copying the content. Element at, it is used to get the component specified indexed value, the position of that element in your vector. So there we are having lots of method. Some important methods are okay, and remove all and remove element.